Hey guys, this is a video on a project I've been working on for quite some time now, and I'm pretty happy with it. So it's time to show it off. Ignore this thing, that's a mode that is no longer in use when you had 0 lives, but now you start with 0 lives. So yeah, let's just jump into it. So it is a 0G controls bullet hell. And right now, player and map are both low level, so it's kind of slow. Let me just give the player a few levels, and you'll see that everything kind of speeds up. And now there's not much damage that can hurt us because of the scaling. Um, let's see. So yeah, you keep your momentum. That's forward, that's back, and you can toggle your bullets, and you can use your cooldown. Cooldown is both movement and damage. And it's pretty fun to use. So these waypoints in the map are going to be pretty big. This is just a temporary map, by the way. I've yet to work on actual finished maps. We'll talk more about that in a bit. But these waypoints are going to be kind of keys. There's two things that scale the difficulty in a map. Difficulty being the the rate of enemy spawn, and that's the time since you've last hit a safe zone, that thing, and the number of waypoints you hit. So once you hit a safe zone, now I don't, because I just changed some of this recently, I don't have everything working, but that spawn scale at the top left should change. Nope, okay. Well, we gotta look into that, but let's see. Yeah, it should, or maybe, oh yeah, it might take a second update. Either way, uh, what will happen if it's not working right now is that when you hit this waypoint, you can't take any, you're not supposed to take any damage in here, all right? It saves the game. Yeah, it's basically uh, the safe zone is the sort of progress marker. It saves the game and kind of resets the difficulty. So the challenge will be going through maps, and now it's actually getting a little tough in here. My health is going down. The tone of taking damage, the sound changes, so it's a really nice audio cue to tell where you're at health wise when you're taking damage. So there's a portal to a bigger map. It looks the same, but it's basically quadrupled in size. So I just kind of copied and pasted and made hallways between them. So this is slightly closer to what a normal size map will be like. This is still a level 1 map, so we want to get to a higher level to show off the actual danger involved. So all these orbs, the fast moving ones, give you XP and a couple other things. There, now we can go to level 9 map. The slower moving green ones will give you, will heal you a little bit, and they'll give you some armor, which, let's see if I can show that. Armor is basically just a temporary shield. There, that yellow thing at the bottom. That stacks and it slowly dissipates. Interesting mechanic. I don't want to get into too much detail here, but there's good reason to try to stack that. Because when you take damage without armor, it lowers your aspects. So you have the main things that are controlling your power right now on the top left are your level, which is 7, and aspects, which is 5.5 now. So if I take damage, only actually first, okay, so I take damage, 5 point, yeah, it's aspect number goes down. So if you take too much damage, you'll lose an aspect, and each aspect is a pretty strong buff. So that's sort of your short-term, power gain and loss. And the higher your aspects are, the less each you gain aspects by collecting these XP orbs that sometimes drop. Those sometimes drop from enemies. So eventually, the higher level you are, the less you want to take damage to push your aspects to its cap, which is 9. And level cap is 10 right now. Oh, okay, I died. So because I have less than 1 life, cheesy end screen, I respawn as a level 1. Basically, my character dies, and later I'll just have it take you back to the main screen. So we'll just jump into a map again, give myself a couple levels, just stay at level 4. Actually, I want to get to a high level to show off. Things kind of scale pretty hard. The enemy spawns scale pretty hard the higher level you are. So I'll try to get there. All right, I'm level 9. And then we'll go into level 10. Now there's only one, one or two maps now, but they're not actual proper maps. They're just things I threw together to test. So that's next big thing that's going to happen. So the main idea of this game is, well, you go through, you kill enemies. There's going to be bosses. So the two main features I know I'm going to add before release are a huge, many maps that are connected through portals, so making a big traversable world, and bosses. And bosses are going to be real interesting because they'll have their own. I mean, it's pretty much what you expect, but I'll be able to control a lot of the things going on there to a greater extent than just throwing random enemies at the player and random environmental effects, which are happening. Like these red bullets are an environmental effect, not very strong, but whatever. These small bullets more just push the player than actually damage them. Um, and yeah, these things don't hurt, etc. And yeah, so the more waypoints you get, the more they spawn, the more XP orbs they spawn. And but then they also increase the spawn rate. So yeah, the goal, once we have all the world maps set up, is to reach the next waypoint alive. And now every time you get one of these XP orbs, you get a small amount of lives. So we have 0.11 lives, and obviously once you have one life, well, now you can afford to die once before a hardcore character death. So I think that's a really nice mechanic. So there is still risk, even when you have... Oh, okay, there, like we just lost our character. So even though, you know, there's always risk in getting to 0 lives and fully dying, you can at least, you know, farm up easier content to ensure that you have enough lives to make a nice safety cushion, whatever. So I think that sort of feels like the right way to do it, giving the player, you know, just so it's not total hardcore that you make one mistake one time and you lose your character that you might have spent some time on. So yeah, it'll be interesting in that the earlier parts of the game might actually be slightly more difficult just because your ship is more limited. So you might die often until you get to, you know, mid-level, and then you can actually kind of have a bit more control over whether you die or not. So that's when your skill and decision making comes into play. So yeah, I think with all the things that I currently have, it's actually pretty solid. It's a pretty decent game loop so far. It's obviously just missing a few key things, like I said, map variety and traveling through maps and bosses. And I may add classes. I may add a bit more character customization. So these aspects, right now they're just hard coded, but maybe I'll have that you select them or you collect them or whatever. Yeah, so that's pretty much the game, and I'm gonna try to just play a minute here and unlock some waypoints and try to boost that spawn skill number on the top left is the difficulty. So I'll try to boost that up and see how crazy it can get. But yeah, so that's, I mean, I'm pretty much just show you that, and I'll say that I'm really happy with where this game is right now. It's fun, man. Like I can just sit here and enjoy playing it, and obviously the weak parts, you know, they make themselves pretty obvious after some time, but so far it's worth playing at least a bit. You know, you get a bit of, you know, especially once enemies start to overwhelm you and you start actually losing life, situations can get pretty interesting, and just having that sort of slightly hardcore risk of death really adds the right sort of tension. So all in all, wait, am I in the small? No, I'm in the small. I feel like I am. Where are we going? I am in the, am I in the, yeah, I'm in the small map, I'm sorry. No wonder. No biggie. We'll just go here. And yeah, I don't know if we'll be able to quickly. Well, either way, it gets pretty crazy, man. And that's when it gets fun, and that's when you basically struggle to get to the exit. And yeah, that'll be. I think if I just keep the right balance and add the right things, this game is gonna have some real value and be worth checking out. And I'm happy that it's already showing that potential, at least to me. So yeah, these, if I didn't mention it, these shields mean they take less damage, and that ship is already kind of beefy HP wise. So yeah. And depending on how things go, if it has initial success, there's still many ways to improve this, many new things to add. There's even though I feel like I have enough enemy variety now to carry the first release in that in that area. There's definitely a lot more that can be done to add new challenges and whatnot. I just lost an aspect because I took too much damage, so I guess I should try not to take much damage. Yeah, the first aspect you get is the first couple are the most important because they give you a big speed boost and fire rate boost, etc. So it's just surviving and not taking enough, doing more damage than you take essentially. So that noise, when you hear that low pitched thing, you need to play solid, like I'm trying to do. And these things give you some. So, another thing. So, okay, there we go. So there it is. It gets even crazier than that. I was just not able to focus as well as I might have. So one thing to note, I'll give myself a couple levels. Not that I need to, but it's just more fun to watch. So your shield at the bottom, when it's at maximum, your HP regen will be boosted by at least like 30 or 40%. So it's, if you take damage, etc. Should probably have, well, I'm level 5 in a level 1 zone. So now my HP regeneration rate, which doesn't start until I don't take damage for a while, is going to be slower until that shield gets up there, and then all of a sudden now it's going faster. So there is incentive to not take damage for some time, and I'm purposely not having a bunch of heals throughout the map, so or at least really limit those. So you do feel when you mess up and you take too much damage that you have to play safe for a while. I think that's important for what I'm trying to do here. Anyway, that's it. And just one more thing of note. I'm not going to show you the map editor, but it is pretty solid in what it can build in this game. The maps can potentially be pretty big. Not only can I use like this is actually a pretty large piece. That's one piece, it's mirrored here. So not only can I use these large pieces to really, the map is basically scaled. The performance, the limit is how many objects, how many of those tiles you have in the game. So the larger tiles I have, the larger the map can be, but obviously lower detail. These are like medium-sized tiles. I didn't use any small tiles here, just because I was trying to lay out something quick. But there's room for, I think, at least 10,000 objects per map before I noticed any like loading. I don't even think it was a performance issue. It was just like loading speed. But I'll have to test that. But even then, I'll probably never actually reach that many objects per map. So these maps can potentially be pretty big, and that's the exciting thing. Is then I can add a lot of variety. Like, oh, this thing here, that's if there was actually if you were forced into an area like this, which is actually kind of annoying for the player, even just going through an area this size is often troublesome. So I'll have to sort of make sure that's only at certain well-intended points and otherwise be a bit more open. But yeah, so there's, the point is I'll be able to make a map with a lot more variety when I spend actual time on them. And I intend to do that very soon. That's actually the next thing to work on is maps and map variety, since I just got the portals working. Those red ones are damaged, and they don't follow you as well, but they will do damage. Not much. Maybe I should change that. Yeah, so I'm real excited about the maps, because the maps, you don't realize it until you're in a new one. They really do play a big role in the feel of the game and the interest that you maintain throughout playing a game. Being in a new map, and then the fact that they're so easy to build, I'll make a video, later on I'll show that off, but not now, not in this video. But they are pretty easy to build, at least on a basic level. And there's a lot of There's many different, there's like 200 different color schemes I could select from, and hundreds of tiles. These are just, I probably just used like at most 20 tiles in this, but there's literal hundreds I could use. Yeah, I think maps are going to be a pretty cool part of the game. And the gameplay is solid enough for now. There's always room for improvement. I have, these little waypoint objectives that exist throughout the map. That's pretty solid, and I think that's, by the way, the reason why this is so easy is I'm still on a level 1 map. Like, even taking this damage in a level 6 map, I wouldn't be able to just casually take that much. Like, even now I'll probably survive. As long as I don't do anything. Okay. It's actually getting there. Okay, since my shield's up, and the shield will once the shield starts regenerating, as long as it doesn't hit 0, it'll keep regenerating. So let me just try to demonstrate that. So it provides a nice buffer. HP doesn't work like that. HP will pause before, or maybe I think I removed that. It's probably nice. I think it's nicer just have it generally constantly regenerate, just really slowly. So yeah, so it's been quite a journey to get to this point, and I'm quite happy with where it is. It's fun, and I'm trying to keep it from getting just stupid chaotic on screen. So, at the higher levels, instead of just adding more bullets, I'm gonna add like, damage, just higher damage and faster moving bullets, so the screen doesn't become a clusterfuck. So, pardon my French. Yeah, this is a PG game, so no swearing. Um, yeah, but that's it, man. I think I've demonstrated what's here, and what's to come should be pretty exciting. I'm pretty excited about it. And bosses, I didn't even talk about bosses. That's the other big thing I'm going to work on. And there's a lot of potential there, because then I can control, exactly what happens. Where here is just a bunch of RNG, what's going on around you. Bosses will have their own room, so you're contained. You can't just easily run away for the most part. And I did limit running away in that, when you move faster, things will spawn in front of you, and further enemies have a chance to teleport to you. So running away is not just the end all be all. But with a boss and you're locked in a room, well, that'll be a true skill test, and that'll be pretty fun, I think, to get going. So that's it, guys. If I haven't showed, I think I've shown map portal here. Boom. But still level 1 map, I need to fix that. Safe zone, everything slows down. Fun stuff, right? All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Later.